Willie D Live.
What's up, family? This is going to run you hot, unless you're an uncivilized mutt. Family, we got a high school student who got hands put on him by a female cop. I mean, she did him dirty, fam. Power drive, while his hands were pinned. This woman is absolutely a maniac. Turns out she has a history of this, and we'll talk about her history in a moment. But first, check out this clip.
Now at 10, a violent arrest at Fairfield High School. An officer seen punching a student in the head while taking him into custody. The encounter going viral tonight, sparking protests from students and their parents.
As a black community, seeing a black kid getting beat up like that by the police officer is like mind reckoning, like what's going on? We can't even trust our police no more.
And tonight, Fairfield police say they are investigating the incident. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Meeback.
And I'm Christina.
I can't let that. We can't trust the police anymore. I can't let that go. We ain't never trusted the police.
Two students were arrested in what police say began as a fight on campus. Video of the arrest is now spread, and many students say the use of force was excessive.
KTVU's Amber Lee live tonight in Fairfield with more reaction from the community and, of course, response from police as well. Amber.
Mike and Christina, there are a number of videos posted on social media that show the interaction between the police officer and the high school student. Most parents and students we spoke with have seen the videos, and they weighed in.
Oh my God.
This video posted on social media showing a Fairfield police officer punching a high school student is causing outrage.
You go to classes for this on how to de-escalate situations, and there was no de-escalation there. You beat a child.
How surprised are you by what you saw?
I'm disgusted. I'm not even surprised.
Police say officers responded to a physical fight between multiple students on Wednesday afternoon shortly after 12:30. The department released edited body cam footage of the incident. They say the students seen being beaten by the officer had been displaying aggressive behavior and resisting being handcuffed, and that the student placed his hands over his head and covered his face. Police say the student tensed his arms, so the officer was unable to get his hands behind his back. Police say that officer administered what they describe as a distraction strike to the student's hands and applied additional distraction strikes, which resulted in the student complying. That student was arrested. Students staged a walkout from campus in protest on Thursday afternoon.
I think what she did was very wrong. She shouldn't have done that.
I reached out to the student's mother, and she says she's not doing interviews right now. Some parents say they need to know more about what happened. We showed one woman the police body cam video.
But she didn't have to resort to violence, right? I don't know. I can't make an opinion without knowing all the facts.
When it comes to the cops, I mean, they look at everybody as a serious threat. And when that's assumed, you gotta figure the police are gonna do whatever they can to keep not only them safe, but everybody else around them safe. That's their job, and I don't blame them.
It's only a child. Child is learning. They ain't fully developed.
Police have arrested another student during this incident. They say they found sharp objects, including a screwdriver, in the backpacks they confiscated from students involved in the fight. Police have not publicly identified the officer involved. They tell me she has not been placed on leave and that they are investigating this incident. Mike?
Okay, that's that. So this officer, obviously, fam, was being way too aggressive. She has been watching these Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and Facebook videos of police officers going overboard, these overzealous police officers, these just hyped police officers who are oftentimes are on drugs. They junkied out, they're alcoholics, they're peeled out, and they got a gun and a badge on, and they're called to go out and to resolve conflict. They're supposed to be de-escalating, but they go in with the intent of escalating, and they don't have any second thought about escalating because there's very little consequences for adverse actions in regards to them. Many of them are very uncivilized. They're coked up and doped up, and they're out on the streets patrolling. Yes, they are. Now, that one parent said that, the police are going to do whatever they got to do to control the situation, and he said that the police is going to look at everybody as a threat, and he don't blame them. So that means that they're going to look at your silly ass as a threat one day, and you're going to be cool with that? I doubt it. See, what you cool with is the fact that he did that to a black kid. See, I'm going to tell y'all something. Black kids, listen closely. You are not going to be afforded the same chances, the same second chances, the same grace as your white counterparts. You are operating under a system where there is no mistakes allowed for you. They're not going to allow you to just do something and say, well, boys will be boys. When their kids do something, when other kids do something, it's boys will be boys. But when you do something, it's lock that nigga up, throw away the keys, just like the rest of them. And you better understand that, because if you don't, you will get your head knocked off, or you could find yourself in a position like that youngster did who was in a fight. Look, man, they didn't have to do all of that. Where was he running to? So what, he ran? You know who he is. Let him run. Let him run all the way home if he want to. You just go pick him up later. You know he can't come back to school. When he come back to school, arrest him. She didn't have to do that boy like that. This is a kid. Fam, even if he was an adult that got into a fight, you don't have to do all of that when you already got somebody pinned down. They had the boy pinned down. They like, well, he covered his face. You're damn right he covered his face. You busting him all across his head. So he covered his face to protect himself from the strikes. Now, we all know what would have happened if you take that authority away from her, and you take that gun away from her and that badge away from her. We all know that boy would have waxed her ass, and she know that too. But she's counting on the fact that many of us are programmed to allow them to violate us because they have the badge and the gun and the authority. Just like when you see these little old bitty cops and stuff running up to big old dudes like, get up, shut up. Like, they know what it is, fam. They know what had happened to them if they didn't have that gun and that badge. But I'm going to tell you something. One of these days, that gun and that badge is not going to make a difference at all. One of these days, I'm telling you, these police officers are way too wild. Yeah, way too arrogant, way too entitled. Now, check this chick out on an earlier call when she had stopped this young lady in the streets. This happened several months ago, I think. I think it was 8 months before this incident. But it happened several months before this incident, where she snatched a young woman, a young girl who was 18 years old, out of her car by the hair. So that's her trademark. That's her trademark. That's what she do. She liked to grab people by the hair and snatch them. Yeah, check it out.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Please don't rip me out. Okay. Can I sit there and you feel me? Stop. Can you stop, please? Hey, stop. What? She's pulling my hair.
Look at that.
This is video showing a then 18-year-old Maya Hamilton getting arrested by Fairfield police nearly a year ago. In it, the arresting officer is the same one seen here, making another arrest and using what the police chief described as distraction strikes to take this teen into custody at Fairfield High School last Wednesday. Family members have identified that teen as Maurice Williams and say he was beaten like a dog. Hamilton is now sharing her story.
The same thing that happened to that poor boy, was pretty much what happened to me.
In a statement released late Friday, the Fairfield police chief said in part, the officer has been administratively reassigned in the department as we navigate this emotional and challenging time. Hamilton, whose case is pending, was distraught when we spoke with her and at one point fought off tears.
I was like, that's the same officer, like the same male cop that was there. Yeah, he didn't want no parts of it, but it's the fact of there's multiple of y'all that was involved in everything, and it's not okay. That should have never happened. She asked me for registration and insurance, which I was looking for, and I obviously was trying to grab, and then she proceeded to reach into my car, and that's when everything proceeded, and she ripped me out of the vehicle by my hair.
This is a pattern of aggression. This is a pattern of excessive force. This is a pattern that Fairfield PD is allowing to have happen in this community.
The police report describes that Hamilton had been pulled over here for speeding and failing to yield to emergency lights.
Can I sit there? No. You feel me? Stop. Can you stop, please? Hey, stop. What?
Barry Axios is a community advocate with Voice of the Youth.
What would you like to see happen? She needs to be fired.
She should have never been able to continue to be a police officer. They call you guys peace officers to bring peace, not to sit there and cause commotion and cause more problems than there already was.
As of this broadcast, police have not responded to our questions about Hamilton's case.
Administratively, what did they say? Reassigned or whatever it is? Nah, man. Her ass need to be fired. Fired and charged. Charged. Yeah. Injury to a child. Upgraded. Yeah. She need to be charged. She should be in jail. She's an animal. She should be in jail. She should not be roaming the streets. This is an unhinged, uncivilized mutt. Ain't no two ways to say it. Family, we can't normalize children being treated this way. We cannot normalize that. I get it. They asses can be a pain sometimes. Yeah, they be tripping sometimes. And some of them are really, really aggressive. But that wasn't the case right there. Yeah, he took off running. You grab him, you pin him down, you put the cuffs on him. You do not have to beat him to put cuffs on him. You already got him pinned down. It's more y'all coming. You got another one on top of him, another one. You got enough manpower to get his arms around him, to bring his arms to his back, around his back, and put the cuffs on. You don't have to hit him unless you want to. So you don't have to, but she hit him because she wanted to hit him. That's how she get off. That's her hustle. That's her game. That's her MO. She probably one of them chicks, a man hater, She absolutely one of them chicks who probably hate black people. I bet you if you go into her record, I bet you'll see some more cases like that where she is disproportionately violent towards black and brown people. I guarantee you she don't treat everybody like that. I guarantee you. And I'm talking about even when people are belligerent, I bet she got a whole lot of patience for certain people. Yeah. That uncivilized mutt need to go. To the students who walked out and protested, I ain't got no problem with that. No more talk.